Hi everyone, I'm going to give you an overview of my new extension, Mad Nomad's Character Sheet Tweaks. So this is a collection of a bunch of different enhancements and adjustments to the character sheet to improve the usability and give you some new functionality that will hopefully and your players will enjoy. So first of all, the very top left, you'll notice I moved the token around. So let me start by picking a portrait. Now I moved the token over here because in many of my games I found the players didn't know the difference between the token and the portrait. They also didn't know about the double click functionality. So now, well, at first I make it easier to get to the tokens. You just one click and it brings the tokens window up so you can change tokens more easily. Also, instead of double clicking on the token, you can simply click on this Find on Map button and it'll pull up the token if they're on any map. Well, so many times I've had to explain to people that they can do the double click. Hopefully this makes it more clear and there's a tooltip that explains it. Moving down further, you'll notice that there's some green plus check marks here, or buttons here. That's because whenever the extension realizes that you might be in a position where you can add a background or erase or a level, they'll pop up for you. So that's, for example, the start of making a character, you're going to have them all available to you. If you click on the plus, it just makes the window pop up, so you can still use the things on the right, but it's just slightly more convenient because you're already over here looking at your sheet. You don't have to go back and forth between the right and the character sheet. Very small, but little enhancement. So let's go ahead and drag a background over. And then with the race, we'll do that next. So same thing, it pops the window up for you. The class one, because we're at level 1 here, we'll get a class 1. I'm going to go ahead and drag a class over. And you'll notice that the experience went up. And also, anytime you go above the next level experience, let's go to 301, you'll notice that box pop, the check or the plus mark pops back up to show you, you got enough experience to level up. And as you go, continue to level, you can do it this way over the window. The new next level XP will continue to be reflective of where you are. This is a simple version. There's a fancier version out there. Rob Tui and Diablo Bob have that works with this as well. Moving further down, you'll notice the XP and the next level XP are directly on this page. So you don't really need to use this window anymore. You can see your XP at all times. Really easy. Players just sort of like being able to see that information, especially new ones don't know where to get to it. And they're not editable by the player. So as a GM, you can edit XP in this window here in the level and all that, but the player won't be able to, so they can't accidentally erase their XP or their next level or anything like that. Moving down further, I've moved some of the boxes around with some minor change there. And then down at the bottom, some neat little enhancements to health. You now have current HP. So instead of having to worry about tracking your wounds, you just see how much life you have left at all times. And if you edit your wounds, the HP will go down and vice versa. They're connected. And the health indicator, the green, red, appears in your HP instead of your wounds like it used to. The max XP shows up here, but it's in a different style, so it's easier to distinguish between that and your current HP and your wounds. Going on to the skills page. So I've added some default skills for very common things that aren't normally on the skill list, like thieves' tools, instruments, artisan tools, etc. So players can just roll that rather than having to explain them how to make a thieves' tools check when they don't have a skill for it. Nothing on the abilities tab or in the identity tab. You may notice this is actually the notes tab. I renamed it because of something else I'm about to show you. But the notes is really kind of a minor feature on this page. Really, it's more about your character's background or stats and information and history and all that. So notes is more of like an afterthought here, and I always get annoyed trying to keep my player notes in this little tiny section. So what I've done is I built an entire new section for players to take notes. It gives them a lot more space, but also adds a bunch of new features too. So for example, story links. If you share a story with a player and they want to remember it or you have quick access to it, they can drag it right to their story links section so they can get back to that in the future. Same thing with notes. I don't know if I have any notes here. Oh, I do have one note. Okay, so I'll drag the note on there and it shows up in the notes. And then the player can also keep journals. So rather than just have a big, long, messy text field here they have to try to organize, they can enter individual entries like town findings, and they make notes about the town, whatever, and it shows up as a separate record here. And then they can go back in and edit that, or they can create a whole new one about, quest that I got, and that creates a separate entry so it's really easy to organize your notes and find things much simpler for the players. And you can do some of that already with the note stuff, but I'd find no one ever using them. It's really kind of cumbersome to use. They all get mixed in. There's no filtering. So this makes it a lot simpler and puts it right in your character sheet. So I think a lot of players are really going to like that. And I think that's basically it. So yeah, those are there's a couple other, quite a few other things there on this whole series of extensions called the overall Mad Nomads Enhanced Character Sheet Extension Series. But this one piece of it just does all that stuff I just showed you there. So this is the Mad Nomads Character Sheet Tweaks. Hope you guys enjoy.